tell me the story about how you made Florida Man and like how did that whole thing start?
Florida Man. I feel like the mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, made us make that film. It was
Really?
yeah.
Explain that.
Well, we had just discovered psychedelics in general, and we had just discovered mushrooms after we had made the film Oxyana. We had done Tribeca Film Festival, and during Tribeca Film Festival, someone gave us mushrooms. We just threw them in the freezer. I was like, I don't know what these are. I don't know about these things. And we ended up taking them a few months later. And before we took them, I had this idea in my head to make a film called Sinkholes, which would have been Florida Man, but it would have been like, let's go towards all the weird ass sinkhole stories in Florida and talk to Florida men with that as like the Trojan horse of like how to even talk to them. Yeah, I loved that idea. So that was just in the back of our head forever. And we met Isaac, and Isaac comes over to our apartment one night, and it's fucking midnight, and he's like, let's take mushrooms. I'm like, fuck, this is going to be a long night, man. All right, we'll take mushrooms, whatever. We take the mushrooms, and we were laughing about something, and I was telling him about the idea of sinkholes, and I'm describing sinkholes, and he's like, have you ever seen Surveillance Cameraman? And I was like, no, what is that? And he's like, we got to pull it up right now. It's this, I don't know, have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, dude.
If you like Florida Man, you're going to love it.
It's internet gold. It's like, this dude just goes around with a camera and just goes up to people and just starts filming them, and they're like, what the fuck? And he just sticks to the program and just films them. And it's very aggressive and confrontational. Barely. The only thing he ever says is like, calm down.
It's just a video.
A camera. It's just a video.
Whoa.
And people just start freaking out. And like, he's like, there's cameras everywhere. It's just a camera, whatever. So he put out this 8-part series of these confrontations, and we were just on mushrooms dying laughing. I'm like, this is art. I'm so glad that I'm not the one that made this, but this is art. Like, I'm glad somebody went out there and did this, because it's fucking hilarious, and it's tasteful, and it's just fucking funny.
Is it on YouTube?
No.
Like
yeah,
that?
no, it is right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Yes,
1 through
around.
8. He's we met him in person, actually. We tracked him down. He is the epitome of an adrenaline junkie. So
Yeah.
for him, it's not about cinematic artistry. It's about like, how far can I go within my
Right.
comfort zone?
Yeah, he's
or
addicted
outside
to,
of my comfort
he's
zone.
addicted to adrenaline, and that's one of the ways he gets his adrenaline flowing is like these
Confrontation.
Yeah. So we watched it, and it was just like, we were laughing our ass off, and then we go up on the roof of our building, and it's like 6:30 in the morning, and the sun's coming up, and I'm just like, Florida Man. We got to make a movie called Florida Man. And he was just like, yes. Him and Cass are like, yes, fuck it, let's do it. You know, it's like, you're on mushrooms. You're like, are we going to really do this? But like, let's do this. Like, it just felt like a message from the mushroom. Like, go make a movie called Florida Man. And we did. Like, Cass lined it up. I don't know, like a month or two later, we were down here doing our thing. And the way we went about making that film was, we said, we're going to bring one lens. We're not going with a kit of prime lenses, switching on all of this. And we're bringing one lens, a 16 millimeter wide lens. We're bringing a sound guy. We're bringing our friend who can do most of the driving, a whole bunch of pot. And we're going to go for 10 days. And we just rented an Airbnb in 5 different areas. So we'd go to Clearwater for 2 nights. And then we'd go to Ocala for 2 nights and Cocoa Beach for 2 nights. We just went around.
Cocoa Beach, that's got to be a great spot.
Cocoa was one of the most fruitful spots. Clearwater was one of them. I'm so familiar with this area. I knew exactly where to go. We were on fire when we were here because I was like, I know the spots here. Cocoa was amazing. We filmed this guy called Mr. Sexy Cocoa Beach, who just literally surfed out of the water and was like, what are you guys doing? And just started telling stories, and it was incredible. But yeah, the mushroom told us to make that one, and we fucking listened. And it was kind of in contrast to the other film that we were making at the time called Cam Girls, about webcam models. And that film was you know, it was like everything was shot on sticks, and it was very cinematic and, you know, not precious, but a little bit more precious. And like we were just craving something like loose and fucking fiery.
It's more conventional, yeah.
Yeah. And we had just made this film, Cam Girls. We already had it in the can. And then we shot Florida Man so quick and finished the edit that we're like, we'll put these films out on the same day. So we released 2 features on the same day, and Florida Man fucking has gotten around. Like, I didn't know what people were going to make of it, because when we were making it, it came out to 50 minutes, and I was like, this feels right, but it's not a short, it's not a feature.
Yeah.
It's not gonna, no one's gonna buy this. This won't live on any platforms. This is not gonna get into any festivals. It's not that we even try to get into festivals, but
that ended up being the best part about it. Was there was like no storyline, there was no music.
No.
It was just it's just like an organism. It's just a thing.
Yeah, it's like a living monument to this lifestyle.
Yeah,
that like you've lived here your whole life, you know, like, and that's how I knew about these guys, because I'm like, you have to live here to even start to notice these guys, because you're training yourself to ignore this kind of like depressing level of despair that's going on around, and you're living in paradise down here. You don't want to fucking think about that kind of stuff, but if you train your eye to it, you start to notice these people, and there was such wisdom and grace and beauty pouring out of these people that I think normally would be like, holy shit, stay away from me. So it helps us evolve as people. It helps like it's so personal in that way. It's like when we feel ourselves otherizing, we need to go towards that subject, figure out how they are us, and then bring that to an audience. And, you know, sometimes it's sex workers or drug addicts or Florida Man or juggalos or whatever it is we're going towards at the moment. But that's what it feels like our mission is. And Florida Man was just a fun way to do it, because like I knew these guys, I knew how to talk to them. I know that they have these stories on the tip of their tongue, you know? And so the interactions in that movie, you're basically seeing the entirety of it. There's not a lot of, we cut out a lot of people from the movie, but we didn't cut out a lot of moments from the interactions. So like what you see in the movie is probably about how long we hung out with that person. And,
really?
Yeah, it was funny. It was.
How did you approach him? Like, what did you say to him when you walked up to him? Did you have like some sort of like formula when you went out and filmed these guys, or?
They mostly approached us. You know, there's something
about...
Yeah,
when you have a big camera crew?
Yeah, well... Yeah. We were a small
it's
crew,
when you
but
take
a big
out that
camera.
boom mic.
The boom mic.
That'll do it.
Yeah, you go to a 7-Eleven parking lot, open up the van door, and it's just like, we're going to just be here for 3 hours. So everyone chill out, and everyone's smoking cigarettes, hanging out, we're getting high. And then it's like, when it's time, we just take out that boom mic. It's like raising a flag. And like people just start going, what are you guys doing? And, you know, we just always said we were making a documentary about Florida Man. And, you know, no one really asked a lot of questions, man. We ended up like, we'd go up to someone in a Publix parking lot at 2 a.m. and end up in the back of their car going wherever the fuck they're going with them. Like, and I'm like, this is the kind of adventures, like this is the kind of life I want to lead. And the fact that cameras are here for it and we can extend this experience for other people is incredible.
So it all came from the mushroom trip, and you came up with the name Florida Man when you were that night.
Yeah, basically.
You're just like, it's got to be called Florida Man. That's the name of it, and everything kind of just like went from there.
Yeah, it's almost like you reverse engineers.
Reverse engineering, yeah.
A lot of our movies start like that. I wonder if you can relate with that. It's like, I'll think of a title. I have no idea how we're going to find the subjects or where we're going to film it or whatever, but I'm like, I need to make a documentary called The Bowler, and it needs to be about a bowling hustler, and I don't know where this person is or how they're going to turn up in my life, but I'm putting it out there. I want to make a film called The Bowler, and then next thing you know, someone's like, I met your guy. And so, yeah, it's very much the same thing with Florida Man. It's just people finding us, and like,
that's so funny. It's the perfect name. It literally is the perfect name. I mean, as far as like, if you think of, I know it's not what you're thinking, but like as far as like searching something or like the marketing of something to be successful, that was the perfect name you could have came up with.
Yeah. I mean, because
every headline starts with that.
Florida Man. And if it would have been called Sinkholes, like it probably would have been the same movie, really. Yeah. But maybe it wouldn't have bubbled up.
There's something about titles, isn't there?
I know. I see it with your podcast. I look through and I'm like, smart the way you guys title these. Like, our fucking.
Sometimes we overthink them though.
Yeah.
We sometimes way too much. Sometimes the ones you don't even think about. It's like, it's all about it. Really, the thing that matters is the content more than anything.
Yeah.
So many people focus like really hard on the titles and like thumbnails and like whatever keywords and all that stuff. Yeah. But like the biggest thing I've taken away is just, it's all about the content. It's like how good of a conversation, how interesting was that, or how much can people relate to it, you know?
Yeah.